12 years ago where I basically lasted about 3.5 days on the job.
Wow.
And I simultaneously quit and got fired at the same time. You can be a specialist with a university degree or in some cases multiple university degrees, but it doesn't mean you know everything about everything.
That's right, yes.
I walked into interviews where I shook the guy's hand. He said, "I'm not giving you the job." And then I said, "Thanks." And I walked out, and it took me an hour and a half to go back.
Oh my God.
Because he said to me, "You might know about business, son, but you don't know about business." Do what the world pays you for well, what you like, what it needs you for, and then what you variants of just get a job.
That's right.
Just get a normal 9 to 5. This thing pays well, that thing pays well. You know, don't think about what you can't do. Everyone's gonna tell you that anyway.
That's right.
Think about what you can do.
Welcome to Talk with the Courageous Heart. I'm glad you are here today. Let's take a moment to breathe, settle in, and begin today's conversation. Kia ora whanau, welcome to another brand new episode of Talk with a Courageous Heart. As I promised you last time, I have another courageous heart today. Before I get this person in, I would do a very quick introduction. Well, this person, I just found out he's a teacher as well. And he has his own health practice. He works as a physiotherapist, if I'm correct. And he used to be a musician. And I think he still is. And he make an impact on people's lives. And that's why I choose to invite this person. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dinesh Fonseca. Come on in, brother.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, first of all, thank you so much for saying yes when I asked you. And thank you so much for making this time work and being here. And I'm simply very grateful.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Hey, before I go any further, I would like to ask you, many people might know you, many people might not know you. So, who is Dinesh Fonseca?
Well, some people would say a man of many talents. I would just say someone who's tried many things.
Yeah.
So I'm someone who likes to do a little bit of everything. I dabbled in business before, so I've worked in the corporate world. I've consulted for businesses. I've got a fair few business degrees. I teach business. So I've dabbled in the teaching world. I've taught music. I've taught fitness. And then now I sort of dabble in the entrepreneurial world. So fitness and business is what I do the most at the moment.
Amazing. And in my podcast, we always kind of talk about courage. And I just want to ask you, what is your own definition of courage? And can you take me back to a place where you had to be courageous?
I'd say there's a few situations, some probably which I can't talk about, but I'd say being courageous is something that it's something that you don't have to do, and sometimes you don't even, so it's something that you don't want to do, and sometimes you don't even have to do.
That's right, yes.
But it's something that you will do. Yeah. Because that's the essence of being courageous, right?
Is that right if I say you choose to do it?
Yeah. It's something you choose to do. Yeah. You don't. Yeah. So I guess I've been in situations in the teaching world where and this happens in any organization, including like the corporate world, where your manager asks you to do something that is, say, unethical. Yeah. I've been in a couple of these situations. And you don't have to say no in a sense, but it's courageous to do the right thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Even though in some cases it might affect your job, in some cases it might affect your reputation, and in some cases it might affect your career. And that's there are many elements like that on which I chose to be courageous. There's a job many years ago, about 10, 12 years ago, where I basically lasted about 3.5 days on the job.
Wow.
And I simultaneously quit and got fired at the same time.
Because I'm assuming they ask you to do something that not morally right.
Well, I chose there was a lot of unethical and possibly illegal things going on in that organization. But I chose to be courageous. They offered me a job based on a certain working hours and all that sort of stuff. But in the background, there's a lot of duress. on like, you have to work 12-hour days.
Yeah.
And when they offered me the contract was like 5 to 10 grand less than what they said.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, hats off to you, just, having the courage to leave that job.
Yeah.
And I just want to acknowledge that not many people have that courage to leave a job where you get paid and everything. And hats off to you again, brother. But like, let's move on to the second question, which is, you are a physiotherapist, am I right?
Yeah, like I call myself a pain and posture specialist.
Yeah.
But legally, I'm just a trainer.
Okay. You have spoken about experience your own struggle with pain and physical limitation. Just walk me through that, and like in that season, what did you learn?
Oh, so many things, and I think after that as well, I've learned a few things. So it all started from, I was probably like mid to early 20s. I was in decent shape. I could do a lot of things that in terms of the workout world that you can do.
Yeah.
I could do deadlifts and lunges and one hand pull-ups and triple clap push-ups and all sorts of stuff. And then I had some pain in my shoulder.
Yeah.
And a mate of mine at the time took a video and he said, you're doing your pull-ups like this.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's weird. So I had some pain in my shoulder and I went to the physio, who was really good at what he did because he actually listened to you. And I sent me to the senior physio, sent me to a neck and shoulder specialist, sent me to a chiropractor, went to a neuromuscular massage therapist, and it was hours every week.
Yeah. Wow.
Hours every week, hundreds of dollars every week.
Yeah.
And pretty much no result for about 1.5 years, something like that. So what I learned in there was, one the thing that drives my business, that you can be a specialist with a university degree or in some cases multiple university degrees, but it doesn't mean you know everything about everything.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
And then the second thing I learned was just patience. Patience that it doesn't matter what's going on wrong in your life as such, but that there's always a solution. And that's kind of been the essence of my life. So I went and I found, solutions little by little to basically fix myself.
And like, that's amazing because, you mentioned you are a personal trainer that have specialized in pain.
Pain and posture.
Yeah. And, before you becoming pain and posture specialist, you work in a corporate world, as you mentioned earlier. And again, I think we touched this question, but if there's anything to add, we'll talk about it again. What gave you the confidence to leave that path and pursue something completely different?
Yeah, that's a really interesting story.
Yeah.
I was living in Melbourne at the time, and I was working for essentially a branch of Melbourne government.
Okay.
So it was a really good job, really good people. They offered me a full-time contract.
Yeah.
That was really hard to get.
Wow.
And again, I made the courageous decision to actually turn down that offer because it was the first full-time permanent offer that I got in Australia.
Wow.
After 2 years.
Wow.
Right? Someone told me to go to Australia because you can get a job a lot easier. I didn't get a job for about 1.5 years. And I applied for about 400 jobs. Every time I applied for 400, I'd clear the counter to start again. Probably applied for about 1,200, 1,500 jobs.
Wow.
I walked into interviews where I shook the guy's hand. He said, "I'm not giving you the job." And then I said, "Thanks." And I walked out, and it took me an hour and a half to go back.
Oh my God.
So
that's crazy.
I'd been through some crazy situations.
Yeah.
And then I finally got this full-time offer and I said no. And the people around me in my life were flabbergasted because I had also finished all the papers to become a chartered accountant at the same time.
Yeah.
But I was always into basically living a purpose-driven life. So I was walking back and forth across this music studio that was next to the train station at the time.
Yeah.
And I kept walking in. Every day I'd walk in. I remember this guy, who we probably all know, Steve Harvey. He said, if you want something, you got to walk in every day and pretend like it's the first time that you're asking for it. That's in essence what he said.
Yeah.
And so I walked in, no joke, I walked in on the Monday and I said, "Hey, I was wondering if you have a role available." And they said, "No, we don't." I spoke to the reception.
Yeah.
And so Wednesday I walked in, I said the exact same thing. She said, no, we don't. And Friday I walked in, I went, hey, just wondering, if you have a role. She said, no, didn't you come in the last 2? Yeah, I did. Yeah, just wondering.
Yes, more yeah.
And so she's getting more and more annoyed at me.
Yeah.
No, we don't, I did that pretty much every second day, probably for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow.
So I walked in a bunch of times.
Dedication.
yeah, dedication. And then eventually I met the director.
Yeah.
Halfway through me walking in about 10 times or whatever, I met the director and we started the whole process again.
Wow.
And the director slowly got to know me and slowly got annoyed with me coming in, but I was very polite and I channeled my inner Steve Harvey as such. And then eventually she said, okay, fine, you have 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You can basically be a relief teacher. I'll give you a 6-week contract, you can start. I taught for 6 weeks and at the end of that 6 weeks it reversed.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she ended up calling me constantly.
Oh, wow.
So on the Monday she called me and she said, I'll offer you 8 hours, a full day. And in the teaching world, in the music teaching world, it's actually pretty hard to get clients and get hours consistently.
Okay.
So that was a lot for her. So she said, I'll offer you a day. Tuesday she calls me up 2 days, Wednesday 3 days, Thursday 4 days, 5,
Wow.
Friday 5 days, fine, you can work in my other institution, you can teach the violin as well, because I played the violin for a couple of years. I said, look, I can't, because you've actually started something in me. I'm going to go back to New Zealand. I was living in Melbourne at the time, but I said, I'm going to go back to New Zealand, start a teaching degree and start my own music teaching business.
Wow. Okay.
And that was the reason behind doing the teaching degree. So yeah, I don't know whether that kind of answered your question in a roundabout way, but.
And let me ask you, it sounds like you kind of have a few degrees on your hand. How many? Can I ask how many degrees you got?
I've lost count. So I've got the classic commerce degree in accounting and tax, and I went and did all the CPA papers. And then I went into the teaching degree.
Yeah.
Then somewhere in there I wanted to be a trainer, so I happened to land on essentially an absolute world-class trainer who's a 30-time Taekwondo champion. He's won the world title 30 times.
Amazing. Wow.
He's basically maxed out life in every area. He's a multi-millionaire, run multiple businesses, whatever. But so I got a personal training cert, then I did another business diploma with him.
Yeah.
Because he said to me, you might know about business, son, but you don't know about business.
I guess that is so true. We don't really think about it like we think, probably we know, but that's actually true. I think, we don't really know much about this.
He said, you understand it on a piece of paper. You don't understand it in real life.
Wow.
And I don't usually take comments like that from people, but when a multimillionaire who's run multiple businesses and a world-class athlete and trainer is telling you that,
wow,
you sit down and listen.
Exactly. He's talking from the years of experience, so you got to listen.
Yeah, but you've got nothing to say on that.
Yeah.
And then I got an MBA that I just finished about 6 months ago, maybe.
Oh wow! So you still keep doing it, keep hungry for knowledge,
for learning, knowledge. Yeah, honestly, the funny thing about it is I never thought I would do that many. I thought 1 degree and that's it. But the life, the way it happens, is the very thing you don't want to do is the thing you end up doing. That's right. That's right.
And it got me because you mentioned that you tried many things, and I feel like I see myself as a person who tried many things as well. Like as you mentioned, I think for me it's more important, as you mentioned, a life with a purpose, that life that you enjoy. Yeah. And I think we have something common there as well, and also I'm a big fan of Steve Harvey, and I just listen to those people all day. and you mentioned, when we talk, you mentioned the faith is a big part of your life. And has there ever been a time when your faith was tested, and what did that experience teach you?
I guess a few times. Some in the teaching world where, I like to say I'm values driven. And integrity is really important to me. And there's been things in the corporate world as well, but in the corporate world you let a lot more things slide as such, because it's just how the corporate world works.
That's right.
In teaching, you don't. In education and healthcare, integrity should matter the most. There's been some things where I've basically fought against it over and over, and my manager standing over my desk and going, "No, you will do it." And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to do it."
Wow.
And when I finally caved in, because there was no one else to go to at the time, my whole system crashed. Like my digestive system crashed. I had adrenaline flowing through my veins. I had lack of sleep. It was everything just crashed. And I think that was essentially like God telling me, like it's inbuilt in me. So the integrity is inbuilt in me so much that God was kind of telling me, like, you can't really stray off the path too much. It's not really going to work.
Yeah, and especially like, let me add you something. And I believe that if God is trying to tell us something, sometimes it's too hard to ignore. Like, you just keep like flashing in our mind. Oh, I think this is just, maybe this is not for me. Maybe this is time. Like, is there something? Is that the kind of something that happened to you?
Yeah. I think in multiple different ways as well. So, one was I felt God sort of telling me it's time to leave corporate and get into teaching. I felt when those places that I worked in, some of those things happened, I felt it was time, God telling me it was time to leave. And then now, probably in the next 5 to 10 years, I can feel a pull, God basically telling me it's time to leave teaching.
Yeah.
And it's time to run your business full time, sort of thing,
And now you're running your own practice. How do you feel about that? And how are you enjoying making an impact on people's lives?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think as I would say to people when I first did the teaching degree, because this is really like what I'm doing at the moment is teaching people, right? You can teach people business, music, fitness, whatever it is, but at the end of the day, you're teaching. And when you're teaching, you're impacting people positively. So, yeah, when I sort of like thought about it like that, I really enjoy what I do.
Yeah,
I really enjoy what I do. And I used to say to people, teaching in a classroom is like 70% of what I want to do. And at the time, I was trying to come to grips with what exactly is my 100%, is my purposeful driven life at 100%.
Yeah.
And again, I think God plays a lot of like he plays a part in doing those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of testing on, am I going to be able to do this health and fitness area properly? Because I have scoliosis as well. So something that's too physical of a job, I can't handle either.
Yeah.
And something that's sitting down too much, too sedentary, I can't handle either. So am I going to be able to do this, all that sort of stuff? So yeah, it was about 70% of what I like to do, teaching in a classroom, but it's gotten less and less. And then as I found this, as I came into this specifically, because I've been a trainer for a while, 12, 13, 14 years, whatever it is. But as I came into this specific niche, that's when I realized, the concept of like the Ikigai concept, right?
What does that mean?
It's a Japanese concept that actually one of my students sort of introduced me to about 4 or 5 years ago when I was teaching about emotional intelligence and happiness and a bunch of different things in business. It's a concept that basically says like, do what the world, so it's finding something that you really like doing.
Yeah.
Do what the world pays you for well, what you like, what it needs you for, and then what you, another one. So, whatever the other one is. But essentially it's that. It's like, do what you like, do what you're good at, do what the world pays you for, and do what the world needs you, or something like that.
So all 4 of them has to be one thing?
Yes, it's like a flower, if you will.
Oh, okay.
And then in the center is like Ikigai.
Ikigai. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever I thought about the other things that I did, the corporate world stuff, the world, I guess, would have paid me well for it, but I didn't really like it. Okay. And then when I thought about teaching in schools, I like it, but the world doesn't pay you as well for it.
That is so true. And you just mentioned that you have it's scoliosis, and how does that, because I don't know much about it, how does that affect your day-to-day life?
Essentially that, going back to, one of the first conversations that we had, that was essentially the thing that caused all the issues. And some people haven't quite cracked the code on it. And
Yeah.
I've cracked the code a decent amount on it.
Okay.
So the pain is now a lot less.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
The pain is now a lot less. But here and there, if I don't do things for too long, if I'm quite sedentary or I'm sitting down for a couple hours and I'm not allowed to move, like, like schools and universities, you have prize givings, right?
That's right,
You have
that's right.
prize givings, and the lecturers and stuff always sit on stage and
That's right.
they can't move, and they've just got to,
That is so true.
So
Yeah.
now I've moved up high enough in the education world that I have to be that person sitting up on stage.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to be in the background somewhere. And that wreaks havoc on my spine. How does it affect me? From the small things,
Yeah.
like most of this just sort of floats into the background now,
Yeah.
but it affects my breathing.
Oh, okay.
So if I really think about it, I can only get about like 70-80% capacity.
Oh, wow.
And I can feel it restricted. It's kind of like someone putting their hand on your chest and pressing down. You can't breathe as much,
wow.
on this side specifically. This side is fine, but this,
Right.
the spine rides through to the right. So
Yeah.
and then when it gets really bad, it's everything. It's everything. So it feels like someone's taking, say, like a piece of clothing and doing this and scrunching it up and turning it.
Oh, wow.
But
wow.
they're doing it. It's doing it to your muscle and your tissue and stuff like that. So it
Yeah.
feels like everything is just like bound up.
Wow.
You know how like when you're working for a long time, you feel like you have a knot in your neck and things like
that's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's like next level. It's like take like 4 or 5 knots and tie them all together.
Wow.
To each other.
Wow.
So it's just a little bit of that. Can't breathe, headaches, migraines, blurry vision, and then when it got really, really bad, which I basically found the solution for, and then do what I do now in my business, it was everything. I like plantar fasciitis, shin splints, knee pain, sciatica, hip pain, loss of power in the leg. I'd be walking upstairs and my I'd just drop because I just lose power to my right leg fully.
Wow.
Mid back pain, neck pain, all the way down to wrist pain, little finger sort of stuff, like every possible thing in the book.
Wow. And I guess over time you learn how to manage it, and then you learn how to deal with it. Is that right?
Yeah, so I've learned how to fix it.
Yeah.
Because when pain gets this bad, right?
Yeah.
It was a 9 out of 10 pain. When it gets this bad, most of the health and fitness, the medical world as such, it's about managing the pain.
That's right.
But I've fixed the pain,
Yeah.
So it's now only about a 2 or 3 in terms of pain out of 10 instead of a 9.
And talking about you fix a pain, you do that for so many people, and transform their health and well-being. Is there a particular story that has stayed with you and reminds you why you do what you do?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many in my line of work because people come to me after they've already been to everyone else.
Yeah.
And so I'm the last man standing as such. And the pain and the complications is very complicated.
Yeah.
So here's one really quick. There was a friend's mom that came to me, and she's running a small business in Auckland,
Yeah.
providing actually Sri Lankan food.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? And she's been doing it for multiple years,
Yeah.
15 years or whatever. And then she started getting some pain in her knees, pain in her hips and stuff like that. Went to a bunch of people, physios and doctors and stuff like that. And I don't do anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
I just understand how muscles work and things are tight and you need to fix them.
Yeah.
So she went to everyone else, no one could fix it, and she turned up to me. And she could do maybe about half a quarter squat.
Wow.
When I tested her.
Yeah.
And she was getting so much pain she couldn't run her business anymore, and that was a livelihood. A couple months down the line, she turned up one day and she dropped into like a lunge, dropped into a squat, dropped into a lunge so fast that I can't even do it myself.
Wow.
She was like 60 years old, 55, 60 years old
Wow.
probably. Dropped into it so fast I can't even do it myself.
Yeah. Wow.
And essentially in about 2-3 months, years of pain had gone. Right? Years of pain had gone. She was walking. She was able to, go back to running her business.
Yeah.
At the start, there was barely any pain, and then afterwards, there was pretty much no pain at all.
That's amazing.
But the crazy thing about it all is, when you work in the kind of field that I work in, you meet a lot of people at the top of their game. And I met this other guy who's in Mount Eden.
Yeah.
Through another client of mine. So she had essentially physical pain. She turned up to me. I fixed her.
Yeah.
Then she had something else going on, and I said, "Oh, you should go to this guy. He's almost like a magician."
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
okay.
She went to him. He did some massage stuff. He said, "You need to go get this blood test."
Okay.
She went back to her doctor. She said, "I need to get this blood test." Doctor said, "No, it's just, you know, as most women would experience in the medical world, from their voices anyway. They say, you know, a lot of times doctors don't listen to us. They tell us, oh, you're just stressed, or it's just lack of sleep, or, you know,
That's right.
here's some pills. Is never a proper fix."
That's right.
So she got told the same thing. Oh, you're just stressed. You know, you don't need the blood test. You're just stressed. But she insisted. And then the doctor did the test. It came back and said, it was lucky you did the test, because this thing that we found is basically a precursor to cancer.
Wow.
So they were able to prevent it.
Yeah.
This thing that, if given enough time, could have possibly turned into cancer.
Wow.
And all of that, like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
You know,
And like, I think, like those small impacts you make, and when you look back, those actually huge. And like, I just want to acknowledge the impact that you make in the community and for other people. Like, sometimes, like, we don't even think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
like, not many people think about the impact we make, but we do, right? And hey, just want to say, I have, like, thank you so much for sharing, being vulnerable, and you shared so many things today, and I'm so grateful that I got to hear that. And so before I go to last question, I have this part where I let my guests ask me a question. It's only optional, but do you have a question?
Well, apart from the most asked question, which I won't ask,
Yeah.
you know, which is why did you venture out to do what you're doing? I'd say what did you do before this?
Well, it's interesting because I was kind of like you, but I tried so many things. Well, first, I moved to New Zealand when I was 17. I couldn't speak a word of English about 10 years ago, and
Wow.
then I had to build from there. So I finished my 3 years of high school. I graduated and didn't know what to study because I wanted to study music because I love music. But then my last year of high school, I got into business. Like, I had business mindset.
Oh, yeah.
And then I lost not the interest, but the passion for music. So I decided, okay, there's no point if I study music if I don't have the passion for it. So I stopped. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a gap year, do work and bit of traveling, and figure out what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And then I was a youth worker, and I was working as a mission team, full-time missionary for Christchurch Diocese.
Oh, wow.
Catholic Diocese, yeah.
Oh, so you've done a lot of like purpose-driven work as well.
I would like to say yes. Yeah, and I like looking back, everything I had done, I don't regret.
Yeah.
I think it made me the person who I am today.
Yeah, I think it does.
And then what did I do? And then I decided, okay, I'm going to study. Actually, before I do youth working and working as missionary, I thought, okay, because I wasn't sure what I want to study. I was like, okay, I like aviation. Might as well do some aviation management degree. But 6 months into it, I realized, okay, I don't like a job where I have to sit down behind a desk for 40 hours.
Yeah.
I like a bit of everything, like moving and sitting down. I don't mind that job. So I was like, okay, this is not what I want to do. So I stopped after first semester. I stopped that, and I became a full-time missionary and youth worker. I did that, and COVID came in. I got my qualification for being a personal trainer. And so I did that like out of boredom. Like I obviously I love training and everything.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And I just didn't want to waste time. I was like, oh, I'll learn something. And then, but I was like, I wasn't still happy with like how my life was going. And then I realized, okay, what do I want to study? Then I had injury at work. Actually, it was in the gym when I was doing deadlift, and I had this lower back pain that wouldn't go away. So
Yeah.
for the first time, I had to go to physiotherapist. So, and the way he told me and told me what to do, and I was like, okay, this is a cool job that I can do. I can doing kind of can do. So I was like, okay, I did some research. I applied for physiotherapy, and it is a very competitive subject. So I didn't really get in because I didn't really have all the qualification from high school.
Yeah.
But they said, okay, look, come to the university and do the first semester, and if you even if you do well, we can't guarantee it because someone has to either drop out or someone
Yeah.
has to leave the course for us to give you a chance.
Yeah, an option has to be open.
Yeah,
opportunity,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I took that risk. I moved to Auckland from Christchurch, and I did my first semester, and I would like to say I think I really did really nice, pretty damn well. But just to be safe, I applied for occupational therapy and physiotherapy.
Oh, yeah.
I actually didn't know what occupational therapy was. But at the end of the first semester, I got into occupational therapy, and I had no idea what it was. And as the year goes by, 2 years goes by, I loved OT. But in my mind, there was a little bit thing saying, look, I was it always something like that saying, okay, I think I'm trying to be someone that I'm not. I knew I'm not very smart academically. I always knew that, but I just won't try. Because even if I fail, I know I tried.
Yeah.
I think I did. My first year went fine, and second, third year didn't really go that well, and then I had to go through breakups. There were so many things I had to go through. I was I think July, I took a decision. Okay, I think I'm gonna pause this for 2 years, and I'm gonna pursue something. I'm gonna try everything that I love to do, and see where it leads.
Yeah.
And I've given myself 2 years, and if things isn't working out, I'll go back to uni and I'll finish my degree. And
Oh, wow.
so that it's been 1 year, and that's when I decided this idea didn't fall out from a tree. It was while I was in church, I was like, okay, maybe I can start a podcast, and that's how it idea came in, and then we started doing this, and I started filming. I didn't know how to film. I didn't know how to edit or anything. So, and as you said, I tried this, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And I do not think the short-term growth. I'm more looking at the long-term growth.
Yeah.
Because I'm aware it takes years to get to a place where you can say, oh, I have a good podcast and those
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah. To become good at anything.
Yeah.
It takes a number of years.
Exactly, and that's what I was doing before that, and I think one of the guests who knew me from way back came as a guest. She was like, oh, so I know, bro, you have tried so many things, and when I heard that, I felt kind of happy, and at the same time, I was thinking, okay, looking back, I don't really regret anything that I tried, and I was
Yeah.
I'm really glad I got the chance to try that, because I know people that didn't really have a choice because they were
Exactly.
forced to
Yeah.
study something they didn't really want to study in the first place.
Yeah.
And-
That's the story of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's the thing. I was in my mind, and I feel like I'm so blessed with my mom and dad, because they have given me their full approval. I was they always let me explore and do what I enjoy. And so this is something I want to pursue, and I don't know where this is going to lead, but I'm very excited to find out.
Yeah. Wow. You've lived a pretty purposeful, driven life.
I think you, out of us two, I think you had the most purposeful life. and I'm just so glad you came here and you shared that today. I just was like, oh my God, I can't relate to this guy so much.
Yeah, yeah. The music,
Yeah.
the health and fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, the last question I have is I ask all of my guests, which is, what is one thing you would say to someone who is about to give up?
Well, yeah, I think in some ways you and I have that commonality where we've been chasing something that is truly purpose driven.
Yeah, that's right.
And throughout it all, you might have had some of the same things that I've had. People who you might have thought that are in your corner, people that are closest to you, going, variants of just get a job.
That's right.
Just get a normal 9 to 5. This thing pays well, that thing pays well. This thing's highly accepted in the society, community, whatever. Just go do that thing.
That's right. Yes.
And I think a piece of advice that I would have is, if you want to chase something, we see all those YouTube stars and celebrities and stuff going, I just quit my job, and then like Steve Harvey, right? I just quit my job, and then I was living in my car for 2 years or whatever. Yeah, I don't think all of us can do that.
No, that's right. That's right.
But some people look at that and go, okay, that means I just got to stop chasing my dream. My dream has been, I've been chasing my dream for about 6 years now.
Yeah.
About 6 years, and it all started from me going, I wonder if I can do this.
That's right.
And the person at the time closest to me going, what is the point? Like, you've qualified as a chartered accountant, just give up. Just basically go back to the corporate world. Don't even do teaching. Go back to the corporate world. I had this guy in corporate give me a whole lecture. I didn't even know him, but it was basically this brown uncle, this like Middle Eastern uncle, who just gave me this whole talk, and he was like, "Why are you leaving corporate world to become a teacher? Like, you're gonna go get paid peanuts." And then someone in teaching, why are you leaving teaching to go start up your own business? In this country, in this economy, in this demographic, and this, so all these different excuses, reasons. And
yes.
So someone started from somewhere and did it, and now you look at them and you talk about them like they're good.
That's right.
But who was there when they were struggling? Right?
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's if you take that risk, I would say it's definitely worth it, because it has to be long term. It can't be short term goal as well. And I think there are a few things that you need to have that goal to, because you need patience, and you need to do the same thing over and over for years and years to get to that place. And not many people are willing to do that.
Yeah. And so in essence, my piece of advice as such would be, don't think about what you can't do. Everyone's gonna tell you that anyway.
That's right.
Think about what you can do, right? Think about the little things that you can do. Like when I was trying to start the business, I knew I didn't want to pay $20,000-$30,000 a year in terms of rent.
Yes.
To go rent and have my own studio and things.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't have any money.
Yes.
Because when you study and work as a teacher,
exactly.
and my background with my parents growing up pretty poor and all that sort of stuff, you have no money. So I have no money. I have no contacts. I've got a dream.
Yeah.
But I can't have my own studio, and I don't want to pay $20,000-$30,000. What am I going to do? There's all these you can't, and then everyone telling you, oh, what's the point, right? So everyone's telling you can't. What can I do? Well, I can get a personal training cert. I can start there.
Yeah.
So I did that. Now what can I do? I can do what I did in my first business and train outdoors, but I don't want to do that.
Yes, right.
So maybe I'll go indoors, and I'll start at Les Mills.
Wow.
And so I started at Les Mills, and I was like, I'll see how long I can last. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I was about 2 months into the game, and then COVID hit for a whole year.
God, it absolutely changed everything.
And then I was back to training people outdoors, and I thought, the hell is this? But I learned what I can do.
Yeah.
I learned their processes. I learned, I always knew how to be professional, but it's different when you learn it in a specific context. So I learned that, and then okay, what can I do next? I'm sick of Les Mills, but what can I do next?
Yes.
I've got to get my own studio. How do I do that? Well, I want it in my house, so I've got to get a house.
Yeah.
To get a house in Auckland is $1 million.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God, tell me about it.
Now somehow I've got to go get $1 million.
Yeah.
And then I got a house.
Nice.
I bought a house.
Amazing.
And I created my studio.
Yeah.
But it all started from somewhere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it started from somewhere.
I don't have a website. What's the point? I don't have reviews. What's the point? Well, I'm going to go out and get one review.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like, focus on what you can do while you're doing whatever you have to do.
That's right.
And then slowly it becomes what you want to do. So now I'm in the position where people look at me now when they've never met me.
That's right.
And they go, well, you've got a website, you've got 100 plus Google reviews, you know, you got this.
Yeah.
You know, oh man, must be smooth sailing for you.
And the other thing is that
It's like, no.
you learn on the way as well, eh? Like you learn
Yeah.
what's not working.
Yeah, and it's like you said, every door that you've opened and then closed narrows you down to the thing that you want to do.
That is right. Yes.
Yeah.
And Dinesh, let me just say, it's been an absolutely honor to have you, and I really, really enjoyed the conversation we had.
Oh, me too.
And I think it's very meaningful. I just can't wait everyone to hear that as well. Well, again, just want to say, you know, thank you for coming. I really enjoyed that. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, I did. I think we got lost in the moment a little bit. And
Yeah. But
Yeah, no.
I think
I like that part.
Yeah, I enjoyed that part too, because I enjoy the way the conversation went. I think I'm really big fan of, like, I think we have so much. We have so much in common.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't even know you before, but like, thank you for saying yes. I'm absolutely adore that and appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
Thank you. Hey, for the people who tuned in today, thank you so much for tuning in. I leave you with a promise and hope that I would be back with another courageous heart. Until then, be safe, be courageous, and God bless you. Thank you so much, man. It's been really
Awesome.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
This podcast is still growing, so every follow and share truly means a lot. Thank you for listening to Talk with a Courageous Heart.